Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about Extraction. So Extraction is the new Netflix movie starring Chris Hemsworth, and it tells the story of a mercenary played by Chris Hemsworth who has to go save a kid whose dad is a drug lord, and he has to get him to an extraction point without being killed. So I really enjoyed this movie for a number of reasons, but I'm going to get my negatives out of the way first so then I can just talk positive throughout the rest of this review. So as for negatives with this movie, the kid doesn't really have much characterization, the kid in the movie. All you know about him is that he plays piano and he kind of does this thing on his knee or whatever and to calm himself down. But you don't really get much characterization as to who kind of he is. His dad is a drug lord, but he doesn't really explore that much. It's just kind of stated. So I mean, he does have some, but very 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 little. And I really wish that you could have gotten more from him because he there was a chance that you could have. There was a scene that where you could have given his character a lot of more characterization. And my other negative, final negative actually for this movie is so there is an injury that Chris Hemsworth has where he has a sleeve kind of right here for his arm. So I kind of forget what happened. I think his arm was like shot or cut with a knife or something. But anyways, he puts it in the sleeve and he acts like it's super injured and everything. But then when it's time to go do a battle scene, he kind of just starts. He just kind of pops it out and then just starts shooting everybody. And it's like, do you even need the sleeve or whatever? So some injuries don't really kind of make a lot of sense and kind of stuff like that. And also, this movie is somewhat predictable, but you know, I think a lot of action movies are, so I'm not going to hold it on that at all. So those were basically my only negatives with Extraction. Besides that, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I think the best thing about this movie, by far, is the action. This movie was directed by Sam Hargrave, who was the stunt coordinator for Avengers Endgame and some other Marvel products. So, obviously, going into this movie, you think the action is going to be really good, and the stunt work and everything is absolutely incredible. There's some hand-to-hand combat scenes that felt like John Wick level. Like, it was very, very good. There's one action scene towards the middle of this movie where it's just an 11-minute one take and it's absolutely incredible, and I really love that action sequence. I was actually sitting and my sister, who doesn't really talk about filming that much, she's usually on her phone whenever we watch a movie, but she actually looked and she's like, I like the way this is filmed. And I'm like, oh, nice job. She actually caught something. So anyways, I did like the way that this movie was filmed a lot. Chris Hemsworth is a really good lead in this movie. He's a really likable actor, and he does a really good job here. This might be one of his best performances, actually, because, yes, as Thor, he does really well, but he's not really given that much emotional impact. Maybe in Endgame he was, but not throughout the other kind of movies, or like they're the first one or the second one. Yeah, I guess some in the third one, but the third one's just a lot of humor. Anyways, but enough about Thor. He does a really good job here. There's one scene where he just really does really well with a nice emotional scene where you kind of know the history of his character Tyler and everything like that. And he does most of the stunt work himself. And I really want Chris Hemsworth to do more movies like this because I really think that he is a very capable actor and he could do more kind of stuff like this. All the other acting all around is really good as well. I really enjoyed the kid does do a really good job. He's not given much characterization, but he does do a really good job in the movie. And there is some kind of nice kid banter between Chris Hemsworth and this kid. So I really enjoyed that. There's some nice comedy in there, which there's not a lot, but you know, there is some nice comedy in there. This movie is also really fast, so it's really quick paced and everything. That was really good. There's only pretty much one scene in the kind of at the end of the second act that slows down. It's with David Harbour and everything, and it slows down, and that's just the pretty much scene that it only slows down. The rest of this movie is completely fast paced, really well filmed action, so I absolutely loved it a lot. Other things about this movie that are really good is that there's another character who's also trying to get this kid, but it's kind of for a different reason. But Chris Hemsworth doesn't know that it's for a different reason. He kind of thinks it's bad. But that other character actually has a really good arc towards the film because you understand his motivation, what he's trying to do, and everything. And it's just a really good character, and I kind of like their conflict between one another. David Harbour does a pretty good job in this movie. He's not really in it for that long though, but it's David Harbour, and I always loved seeing him in movies, so that's really good. The other thing I really liked about this movie was it's pretty violent, and I kind of really like those R-rated action movies. It's not really gory. When I watched this movie, I was expecting body limbs to be thrown off, like thrown everywhere and everything, people to be blown up and heads being cut off, and there's not really that. It's just a lot of really slick action, nice hand-to-hand combat. I can remember 2 kills that were kind of nasty to look at, and it was just those are 2 kills that I can remember that. But there's like a lot of deaths in here, but so yeah, I did really enjoy that R rating aspect to it. And all in all, I don't want to say too much about this movie because a lot of people have Netflix, so I don't want to spoil it for anybody if you have not seen this movie yet. But this is probably, I'd say, Netflix's best movie that they've put out ever, because they usually put out not very good movies. Like if you guys seen Six Underground with the Michael Bay movie, I kind of have a little bit of fun with that movie, but it's not very good. So I think that this movie is really good, and a really good directorial debut for Sam Hargrave. I really feel like he does a really good job in this movie. So all in all, a great film, but an amazing action movie that you should really check out. So with all that said, I'm going to give Extraction an A-. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I didn't really want to say too much about this movie because it is available on Netflix. Anybody can watch it. So go watch it. It's definitely worth your time. One of the best things I can say about this movie, it will make quarantine better. I was really bored. I watched this movie, and then after, I was really pumped. So you guys should definitely go check this movie out. It's really worth your time, and I really enjoyed it. Action, great. Great directorial debut by Sam Hargrave. Chris Hemsworth, really capable actor. Everything that I said was really good. Very few negatives. So really, you guys should go, if you have Netflix, check this movie out. It's definitely worth your time. Stay tuned for more reviews this weekend. Actually, I'm going to be reviewing Attack of the Clones, which is not going to be a very good way to close out the week, but you got to close out the week with some review, and Attack of the Clones is the next Star Wars movie, so I'm going to be reviewing that next. And then next, I guess Revenge of the Sith. I might get to some more reviews next week, but I'm not sure. So just stay tuned for more reviews like this. And as always, subscribe if you like this content. Hit the like button. And if you have seen Extraction, comment down below what you thought. Don't be spoiler heavy, or don't be a jerk if you disagree. Just comment down below what you thought, and we can maybe start up a conversation. That's always really fun to do. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this review, and stay tuned for more.